Hi there, this is Steve with stevesdailytarot.com. If you enjoy these readings or articles, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos. Today, I would like to give you some tricks and tips for learning tarot card meanings. If you're just starting off, this is a good way to start. The examples I use are based on the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Other decks may have a slightly different look to them. Most of them are based in the Rider-Waite system, so if you have that one, you can pretty much make the translation all right. So let's assume you have a tarot deck. Let's assume you have a good reference book or a list of card meanings. The next thing you need to do is to get a tarot journal. Now, this doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be leather bound and all this kind of thing. It just needs to be something to write on. A legal pad, a spiral notebook, these will work just fine. It's not a big deal. You're just trying to keep notes on what you're learning as you go through. So now that we have all that put together, to begin, open your deck and sort out the major arcana cards. Those are the ones with the titles. Magician, High Priestess, Hanged Man, Sun, Moon, the titles. Then sort out and put them in one pile. Then sort out the court cards, Kings, Queens, Knights, and Pages, put them in another pile. And what you have left are the major arcana. These are the numbered cards, and the ones with suits, like playing cards. Wands, swords, cups, and pentacles. Once you have the minor arcana pulled out, go through and select and remove the 4 aces. Now, we're taking those out because the four aces all have the same meaning. That's a fresh start and a new beginning. Every time you get an ace, that's what it means. New beginning, fresh start, new creativity, new ideas. Something new is coming in. So, shuffle a pile of minor arcana cards without the aces and draw one card. Now take a look at it. What suit is it? Wands, which represent spirit and spiritual action. Swords, which represent mental, your thought process, your logic. Cups, which represent feelings and emotions. Or pentacles, which represent physical possessions like your body, your car, your house. These are represented by the pentacles. Look at the card and just see what ideas come to mind. Don't try to define it yet. Just look at it and see what comes to mind. If you were trying to describe this card to somebody else, how would you describe what you see on the card? We have a person who is doing this. We have somebody else who is doing that. We have somebody who's resting with a pile of swords above them. How would you describe it to someone? And write this information down in your journal. Once you have made your notes, look up the card in your reference book and write down the book definition. How close were you? Were you right on the money? Did you have a few things that were a little off? Remember, there's no right or wrong here. It doesn't matter what you see. Don't think you have to conform to the book because you don't. The only thing you have to do is write down what you see and what you feel. Then check with the book and see how close are you. And are the differences good, bad, or indifferent? Again, there's no right or wrong here. Next, I want you to look at the card's number. The study of the meaning of numbers is called numerology. And in numerology, each number has an assigned meaning. Number 1, which are the aces, we already talked about, that's a new beginning and a fresh start. Anytime you get a 2, it refers to balance, harmony, and choice. A Two of Wands may mean I'm making a choice between two spiritual things. Number 3s represent spiritual connection and creativity. Number 4 represents a firm foundation, solid building blocks, and stability. Number 5 is growth and change. Number 6 is overcoming obstacles. Number 7 is self-confidence, ability, and improvisation. Number 8 is regeneration, knowledge or learning, and infinity, which is the 8 laid on its side is the infinity symbol. And 9 is the end of a cycle and attainment. Now, in numerology and tarot, there's a little difference in the 0 number. In tarot, it's a 10, which means full completion, end of cycle, you're moving on. 0 in numerology has no meaning other than to increase the strength of the numbers next to it. This is kind of an advanced method. We may go into it later. Right now, just understand that 10 is total end of cycle, and because there's a 1 in there, it's also you're ready to move to the next phase. So how does the number on the card you drew relate to the overall feeling of the card? Does it correlate pretty well? Now look at the picture on the card and see what details stand out to you the most. Let's use the 6 of Cups as an example. Remember, here we're in the Rider-Waite deck. What stands out to me is the left side of the card. Now, left represents the past, and the left side of the card is shown in black and white. The rest of the card is fully colored. The left side of it is in black and white. To me, that looks like a past life, something in karma, maybe a past relationship coming back to you. To me, that's what that represents. Since left is the past, right is the future, and the center is the present. This card would represent a past experience or memory. Write down everything you see in your journal. What is happening in the image on the card? Is there action? Is there inaction? If there is action, which direction is the action moving? Is the action on the left, in the center, or on the right? Write down what you think it means. Can you imagine, just, you play with your imagination here a minute. Can you imagine what might have been happening just before the image on the card was captured? Think of the image on the card as being a photo taken by a photographer who was out here walking around, and all of a sudden he sees something and he takes a picture. What do you think was happening just before that image was captured? For example, look at the 9 of Cups, Rider-Waite deck again. Do you think the man on the card set the table for himself, or did he have someone do it for him? In the 3 of Wands, did the man place the wands himself, or did he carry one in and the other 2 were already there? Following this process will give you a much more personal relationship with the cards. Another way to look at what happened just before or after the event on a card is to pull the cards before and after the one you're reading. For example, let's say you selected the 4 of Cups. Now pull the 3 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. Lay them to the left and right of the 4 and ask yourself what story these cards are telling you. 3 of Cups is celebration. Party, happy time with friends, a little bit of drinking going on. 4 of Cups is ignoring what's being offered. We're alone, but we're contented being alone. 5 of Cups is alone, cut off from others, brooding over the loss, and forgetting about what you still have left. Do you see how looking at these cards together becomes a storyline? Another thing to try is relating the card to a person, maybe a character from a book or a movie. As an example, the King of Swords, mental, thoughts, would be represented by Mr. Spock or Data from Star Trek. So now, if you get that card, how would these characters react if they were in the situation that's displayed on the card? In other words, what would Spock do? The important thing in all of this is to spend as much time working with the cards as you can and become familiar with how they can speak to you. The more time you're able to work with them, the better a reader you will become. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please remember to check out my website, www.stevesdailytarot.com, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the share button, and the like button. Thank you very much.